Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Vivian, and in today's video, as you guys can see from the title below, I'm going to be doing the mid-year book tag. And obviously you guys know what this is. As I'm filming this, it is the end of June, but I think I'm gonna get this uploaded in the beginning of July. But basically, we're gonna be answering a few questions, talking about the books that we've read throughout the year and also reminiscing on those books, because I feel like sometimes you forget the book you read in the beginning of the year when you're trying to get a rundown of the books that you've read throughout the year. And like right now, I don't actually remember much of the books I've read in January, so we're gonna be using the reading journal that I have behind me to help me out. All of the books I'm going to be talking about are also behind me here. Actually, all of the questions I'm going to be linking in the description box. I do not own any of the questions. I'm going to give credits to the YouTuber who created this, and there's also another extra set of questions for this tag. But without further ado, let us get started into this video, because it's going to take a while because I have a lot of books to talk about, and it's been a while since I filmed a video, so it might take a while for me to get into the hang of things. But let us grab my reading journal and we're gonna get started. First question is best book you've read so far in 2024. Basically, all of my 5-star reads are my best reads of 2024 so far, but I have narrowed it down to 3. I just feel like these 3 books have impacted me the most and are the ones that I can quite vividly remember just having strong emotions about. And surprisingly, they're all romances. I haven't really liked any of the fantasies I've read. Here are my top 3 books of 2024 so far, okay? The first one we have is Long Way Down by Kristen Becca Ritchie. I read this last month, I think. I had a visceral reaction to this where I cried and sobbed like a baby multiple times. I absolutely enjoyed this, loved this so much. I just felt like I connected with the characters. I love this series. If you guys do not know, this is the 9th book in the Addicted series, and so you have followed so many stories of their lives going on, and I just feel like when I read this book, it was painful, but it was so worth it. It was really heartwarming, and it was really wholesome to see everyone get together, everyone grow individually, and also be so happy with their couples. And then I have Forget Me Not by Jolie Soto. This one was, I think, more of because I didn't really have much expectations going into reading this book. I have not heard anyone really talk about it, and my friend read it, really liked it, and she told me to read it on my Kindle because it's on KU. So I picked it up and I realized that I absolutely loved it to bits. I remembered reading this overseas and just having such a fun time, wanting to really read every single second and not being able to put the book down. And so I picked up the physical copy, highlighted it, annotated it, and I just absolutely loved it. If you guys want to know, this is a second chance romance following a wedding planner and a florist, and you're just following their lives as they got together and then broke up and then tried to find their way back together again. And I absolutely loved MMC. I also really like the relationship. The growth you see with the FMC was just really sweet. I think this was my only 5-star read in March, and I loved it. So Forget Me Not. The last book I want to talk about is also a pretty big surprise. I wasn't expecting much with this book, and it is My Dark Desire by Elder and Parker S. Huntington. And it's because I didn't like the first book of this series. You can read it on its own. I recommended this to my friend and I told her not to read My Dark Romeo because I didn't really like the first book. I started reading this only because the friend that told me this book was great told me this book was great too, and I wanted to believe her. I trusted her taste because everything she said is good. I feel like it's also really good. Picked it up, loved it so much. I just really like the MMC and the characters in this, both MMC and FMC. The way they got together, it was just really refreshing to see their kind of relationship, having no expectations, setting boundaries with their relationship, and then slowly the MMC coming to realize how obsessed he is with the girl. I just love seeing the growth the MMC had, because he had a very big traumatic event happen to him in his childhood. I also really liked following the mystery plotline, because there is a mystery behind the FMC's family, and if you guys don't know, this is a Cinderella retelling. So the FMC is the one that's poor, and then the MMC is really rich. Pharaoh sneaks into Zach's house in order to steal a pendant that was supposedly hers anyways to begin with, and she ends up getting caught, and then Zach somehow hires her as his help. It was just a fun ride. Love this. I recommend it so much. Next question is best sequel you've read so far in 2024. For this question, I picked 2 books that are sequels, so second book of a series. The first one is Jade War by Fonda Lee, which is the second book following Jade City. This is part of the Green Moon Saga trilogy. I read this when I went on a trip to Amsterdam. I read it the whole 10 days I was there, so I was reading it really slowly in snippets, and I loved the reading experience while I was reading Jade War. I just felt like with this book specifically, because we've gotten into the politics politics and the world building in the first book, when you get into this one, you don't really have much to think about and you just follow the flow of the whole story. And there was so much politics going on, so many family interactions, clan interactions. And if you guys don't know what this trilogy is about, you're following two clans and they're fighting each other, and they're living in a world where jade is an important asset. You can or cannot wield jade. If you have the genetics, you can wield jade. If you do not have, you will end up getting the itches if you try to wield jade. But basically these two clans, they are very strong jade wielders, and when you wield jade, you can enhance a lot of the properties that you originally have, such as strength and lightness and all of that. You're following lots of politics when it comes to the clans figuring out how to wield jade. And then there is a side plot coming in of a drug that allows other people who do not have the genetics to wield jade be able to wield jade. It's just really interesting. It's a really vast and complex, intricate world. It was such an experience and I loved annotating it too. It was really good. I really liked it. The other one I have is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Lealig. I really freaking like, oh my gosh, I just hit myself. I love this duology so much. I enjoyed the first book, but this one was even better. I think I really liked the other POV that you get in this book, and that is why I enjoyed this so much. Even though you don't really see much of the romance with the main characters in the first book, the other two characters you see in this one made the book. It was really good. I love the world building. I love the world that you go into with this book. This duology is a gothic fantasy, and you're also following a complex world. Kids who have the fever are supposed to be killed off, but then Elspeth, who is one of those who caught the fever, didn't end up getting killed off. She hid the fever and then she ended up getting these powers. It's a very complicated world. I went into this slightly blind and I felt like it was the best way. It made everything super surprising and really shocking, and I really liked the experience of that. So not gonna explain too much. Also annotated it, so you guys can see how much I like these books when I annotate them. Next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to. I need to grab the book. Give me a sec. I have some books that I haven't gotten yet because I actually have a very hard time getting books in my country. The ones that I really want to read are actually Annabelle Monaghan's books. So I want to read all of her books, but I know that she has a recent release called Summer Romance, I think, and it sounds really interesting, so I really want to read that. And then Fate of the Sun King by Nisha J. Tooley also was recently released. This is book 3 of the Artifacts of Aranos trilogy series. I'm not sure how many books there is going to be in this series. That one I really want to read. It's on my Kindle right now, so I can actually read it, but I haven't read it yet. It is a fantasy romance. I honestly didn't really like the first 2 books, but I'm just going in for the fun of it, for the thrill of it, because I really want to know how this ends. And I also feel like it's a type of book where you read with not much thoughts coming into this, so I really want to read that. And then I also really want to read A Queen, This Fierce and Deadly. I don't remember the name specifically, but this is the last book following A Court This Cruel and Lovely, that whole series, and this is by Sasha Stark, and I have this on KU also, so I actually can read it. I just haven't picked up a fantasy book in a very long time. Those are the 3 books I really want to read that I haven't got my chance to get but haven't released. And then one I have in my hands is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. This is going to be in my July TBR, so I am planning on getting this read next month. I was okay mid with Every Summer After, but I didn't read Meet Me in the Lake because I've heard really bad reviews about that. I picked this up only because a lot of people said it was actually not bad, so I really want to read a summer romance, and that's why I got this, and hopefully it will be great. This is best friend's younger brother romance, and Lucy goes to Prince Edward Island for summer. She ends up falling in love with her best friend's younger brother. She actually didn't know it was her best friend's younger brother, by the way, and she has a summer fling with him, realizes that he's her best friend's younger brother, and decides not to pursue this relationship. Something happens. Lucy ends up going there for another summer, and then they go on this relationship, I think. So yeah, those are some new releases that I have in mind that I really want to pick up. And also the reappearance of Rachel Price. I do have it in my cart. I'm not gonna pick it up because it's too far away. Next is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I am going to look down because I have my new releases read on my reading journal. So I have The Game Changer and The Grandest Game, both by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, is going to come out this year. I'm pretty sure. If it is not, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure one of them is coming out this year. And then I have Reckless, which is coming out very soon. Just thinking about it is making me like shake. It is by Lauren Roberts. If you guys don't know, it's the second book following Powerless. If you guys don't know, you're living under a rock. This Honestly Yours by Kristen Becca Ritchie. Don't know what this is about. I think it's mafia romance, but I might be wrong. And then The X-Vows, which is by Jessica Joyce. Jessica Joyce wrote You with a View. Yeah, that one. I didn't really like it, but I'm excited to see if she's gonna do well with this one. I think it's Second Chance Romance. Play Along by, what is her name? The one who wrote the Windy City series. I'm pretty sure I know her name. I'm just a bit dumb right now. But yeah, that one, it's the 4th book, I'm pretty sure. I really like the 2nd and 3rd book, so I'm excited with the 4th one. Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto, which I talked about. I think this is her debut novel. I am so excited for that one. It is about 2 musicians, but I think they're cello players or something like that. And then Daydream by Hannah Grace, who wrote Icebreakers and Wildfire. It's a part of that series. I'm really excited with that one. It's Henry's story. And that's about it. Yeah, those are it. I don't really have books written for September, October, November, and December, which is weird. Those are some really, really highly anticipated new releases. And then biggest surprise of a book, I guess, like a book you don't really expect to really love. I've talked about it, but I'm gonna like reiterate My Dark Desire. Like, I really did not expect, because the 1st book was not that good. I feel like the writing completely changed, so check it out. It's like really good. And then the 6th question is favorite new author, debut or new to you. Rachel Gillig will probably be one of my favorite authors because I really, really like this duology, and I feel like her fantasy writing is going to be epic. I'm excited to see her next releases. I'm going to be looking forward to that. And also Julie Soto, because this was, I think this is her debut novel, and I really liked it. I love her writing. It is a little bit Wattpad-y, but you know what? I enjoy it. I like it. Excited for her new release. I am excited. And then next question is newest fictional crush. Okay, I am going to talk about this until the day I die, I feel. I keep reiterating this. These 2 books are going to be The Death of Me. Zachary Sun and Elliot Bloom are going to be The Death of Me. I love these 2 MMCs. They're the type of MMC that's like quiet and brooding and like cool and calm and collected, but deep down they're a roller coaster inside, and they have really deep emotions and they feel, and it's just, I love those MMCs. I love these 2 men so much. Next, we have books that made you cry. Again, I talked about this just now in the 1st question, but Long Way Down Maybe Zob. And another book I cried reading was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, that I do not have the physical copy of because my cousin is currently borrowing it, so I don't have it with me, but I cried reading that on the plane. I tried my best to hold in the tears, but I was sobbing deep inside because I was very embarrassed by my tears, so I was just holding it like this while I was reading it. With Yours Truly, you're following 2 doctors who work in the emergency section of the hospital, but the MMC suffers from anxiety, and so the FMC and MMC, they got off on the wrong foot. The MMC was a new recruit in the hospital. They got off on the wrong foot. The MMC wants to make amends, and so he writes a letter to her, and they end up being friends by writing letters back and forth because they're both shy, and then something happens and they end up having to fake date for the FMC's family, I think. And yeah, it was a really, really good Abby Jimenez book. Really liked it. Next question is a book that made you happy. I have the exact book for this. Love a Love Story by Ashley Poston. I literally finished this book today, by the way, and wow, the emotions I felt. It's the type of book when I finished it, it gave me the shivers, and the way I like smiled and laughed and giggled in this book, not because of the romance. I actually really liked it because it wasn't focused on the romance. Next question is most beautiful book you bought so far this year or received. These are the top 2 that I can find. It's not like I love the cover so much. It's the only book that has sprayed edges that I bought this year, and I just really like the sprayed edges. I just feel like everything that has sprayed edges is beautiful. It's The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. It's the Waterstones exclusive edition. I bought this in Amsterdam, and I just really like that it's sprayed edges. The cover is not ugly. It's not my favorite because it's like really creepy and there's like a little scorpion on here, so yeah, but I just really like the sprayed edges. I think it's beautiful. And then I really like the Magnolia Parks Universe books, the original covers. So I have MP Into the Dark. I love the cover. It's like shiny in some parts and matte in some parts. So artistic. So I love that. I love this cover so much. And then what books do you need to read by the end of the year? A lot of books. Basically my whole physical TBR. Thank you very much. But I think I have to pick up like 3 books. These are my top 3. So the first one is obviously Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I have talked about Jade War. I just really need to finish the whole series. So this is the 3rd book in the Greenwood Saga trilogy. I'm in the middle of this, so I feel like I will be able to finish this, but I just feel like if I say it in this video right now, it will come true. So I'm gonna finish Jade Legacy. This one I'm a bit iffy about, but I really need to read this because I feel like I've been putting this whole trilogy off, and it's a Scholomance trilogy. The first book is A Deadly Education. Now the reason why I've been putting this off is because I don't actually have a good impression on Naomi Novik's writing. I've read Spinning Silver by her, and I didn't enjoy that book at all. It was just very long and very descriptive, so I am a bit scared. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared. It's not that long. It's only 300 pages. I actually don't know what this is about, by the way. I think it's dark academia, and I'm pretty sure it's fantasy. And I think the school has magic, but I don't know, does people have magic? The last book I have in this question is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Visual. I've been putting this off. I know. I'm gonna get it read. I promise this year. Read, for sure. I need to get this read because Darker Shade of Magic, that whole trilogy, I bought the whole trilogy. I want to read it. So I'm gonna read this first and then I'm gonna read the trilogy. I'm putting it out there once again. I have to read this year. I have to. And then these set of questions are from Katie is Reading, I'm pretty sure. And it is, what books do you want to reread this year? For this question, I decided not to put any book because I actually honestly do not enjoy rereading books. And I'm not a fan of doing rereads, so I'm gonna empty out this question because I feel like I will not be rereading anything, to be honest. So next is favorite author so far this year. So I feel like I haven't really thought about this question, but I think at least from the books I've read this year, Ali Hazelwood. So Ali Hazelwood, if you guys don't know, released 2 books this year. I think Bride was released in February, and I think this was released this month. Yeah, it was released this month. I read it this month. But yeah, I read both books and I feel like Ali Hazelwood has solidified herself as one of my favorite authors. I think she's a little bit hit or miss in a sense where her writing can feel a little bit Wattpad-y and her storyline can feel a little bit Wattpad-y, but I think I'm a fan of those. I love Bride more than Not in Love, but I still really like Not in Love. So I think she has solidified herself as one of my favorite authors, which is why in the top of my head, I can only think about Ali Hazelwood. Next question we have is a book you've been putting off. Okay, I have 2 books. I talked about one just now, and it is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Putting off the trilogy for a while. I need to read it, I know. And the other one is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I'm not putting this as a book I need to get done this year. I'm not gonna force myself to read this. I just feel like I have been putting lots of pressure into getting this book read, but I don't want to have pressure reading this book. But I know I have to read it, and I have been putting it off because it's really, really intimidating. But yeah, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. It's not my first Brando Sando. I've read Warbreaker, and so I'm not like terrified of his writing. I'm just terrified that I won't like it. All I know about this is that there is something to do with metals, and like, that's all I know. I'm so sorry. I don't know what it is about. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews is the next question. I feel like Bride, this was a 5-star read. Lots of people didn't really like it because it was so out of pocket. But if you have been in the Omegaverse world like 10 years back in Wattpad, you'll know that this book was really nostalgic for me, and that's why I absolutely loved it, because it just gave me my 15-year-old feels back. And I love a good vampire werewolf story. If you guys don't know, this is a vampire werewolf marriage alliance type of thing, and there's a side murder mystery where the FMC's best friend goes missing, and it's related to the MMC, who is the wolf. The sarcasm that you get in this book about the vampire werewolf whole situation was brilliant. The comedic factors of this book was just, it was really good and I really liked it. So I loved Bride. I had a good time. It was fun. It was great. Next question is series you want to finish before the end of the year. I have mentioned this, but the Greenwood Saga trilogy, which is Jade City, Jade War, Jade Legacy. You just have the last book to finish. The Artifacts of Auranos, which is Trial of the Sun Queen, Rule of the Aurora King, and then now Fate of the Sun King. And I'm pretty sure the 4th book is coming out this year, and I think it's the last one. I might be wrong. It might be 2 more books. And the last one I have is Shadows and Crowns series, and I know the last book is out, but I don't know what it's called. I'm pretty sure there's 5 books in this series and it's all out, so I need to get that series done. And then the next question I have is 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. Let me tell you guys, literally all of my 5-star predictions were in 5 stars. I have come to my decision that I do not want to have expectations going into any of the books I'm going to be reading in the future. We have lots of highly anticipated reads that I've already mentioned in this video, and those are basically the reads. Even if the book that the author wrote before this release is a 5-star, I'm not gonna expect the next book to be a 5-star. I think I have to put that down a notch. Once again, I'm trying my best not to have any expectations and any predictions because it just gives me letdowns and I do not want to experience that. And I feel like it's unfair to the book because I feel like I will be rating it even lower than it should be. So yeah. Next question is, do you think you'll reach your reading goal and are you going to change it? I am in a little bit of a slump. If you guys watch my June wrap up, which is going to be, I think, after this video or maybe even before this one, I'm not really too sure. I only read 7 books in the month of June. It's not the most books, and my reading goal is 150 books in a year, which accounts to at least 12 books a month. I don't think I'm gonna be able to reach it, but will I change it? Not really, because I still want to give myself a fighting chance. I don't want to give up on this. I'm gonna keep the goal, and I'm happy to keep the goal, and I will try my best to reach it. I'll try my best to do it. Last question of this whole tag is any new goals for the rest of the year. I do not have goals. I unfortunately do not put myself in that sort of situation where I'm going to have goals, because I am afraid of failure and I'm afraid that I won't be able to reach them. And so it's the same thing with the 5-star predictions, is that I just do not want to expect anything on a book and on myself. And so I do not have any goal. If I have to mention one, it's not really a goal, but it's a wish. But I really want to read a few classics this year. Hopefully I'll be able to. I have some books that are classics. Maybe I'll pick them up. Who knows? But that's the only one I can think of right now. It's a wish, not a goal. That is it for this mid-year book tag. I've been filming for so long. I think it's been an hour. So yeah, I'm excited to end it. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys don't mind that this is going to be a longer video than usual. Hopefully everything I said makes sense, and hopefully you guys got some recs out of this. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And hopefully I'll be able to upload consistently this month, in the month of July, because I feel like I've been really MIA in June. Get back on track and actually upload videos and read books and hopefully reach my goals. So that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.